Hi, my name is Sylvia Binsfeld. A few years ago, I participated in a Qigong retreat, and what I witnessed there changed my perspective on life forever. There were people with terminal illnesses, things like Parkinson's, where they came in hunched over, unable to walk on their own, and they were straightening themselves out and starting to heal themselves. After seeing this, I felt like I needed to tell everybody that had something going on about this, and I was shot down like left and right. It wasn't pretty. They were almost insulted that I came up with something as weird and foo-foo as Qigong when they were really sick. And I said there's nothing weird about it. It's medical Qigong, and there's actually a rhyme and reason that it works, but they wouldn't hear it. And I started to kind of shut up. And it was around that time that I read about a local woman, Kelli McGowan. She was like 48, 49 years old and had just been diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia. I thought, oh my God, what a really horrible thing. And I should say something. And then I said, maybe I shouldn't. But then I decided to go ahead and just sent a letter to the place of work that they talked about in the article, and included a DVD from the retreat saying, you really need the group dynamic, but I think you can heal yourself. And I hoped that she'd take it from there. And it was maybe about a year later, I decided to Google her name and see how she was doing. And she sure enough was speaking up about the stigma, but there was no mention about Qigong. And I suddenly got this, feeling of dread that next time I read about her, it'd be about her death. And I decided to be a little more proactive and find a way to contact her directly. And I did that. And it turns out the good news is she was interested. The bad news was that neither of us had the money for this retreat. It's not cheap. You sleep there, you eat there, you do Qigong all day long. So it's worth it, but it's just we didn't have the money. So what I came up with was a trade. So I could do this simple video if Kelli could commit to 1 year of Qigong after the retreat, at least 1 year of daily Qigong, and I would then interview her and document her progress and see how she's feeling. And at the end of the year, I would give the video to the retreat and also put it online for free, because now more people are going to hear about it. And that is what we did. And this is Kelli's healing journey.
So hi, my name is Kelli McGowan. I'm 52 years old, and in the years prior to 2012, I started having alarming symptoms. I was not just having your typical memory loss that you would think is menopause. I literally could not understand concepts like what a hill meant. I couldn't figure out money when I was charging my customers, and I had had a fire in my house and I burned my hand to 3rd degree. And we called the doctor and we started getting some scans. We noticed that there were some big changes and went through many months of testing, and I was diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia. So I wanted to talk just for a second about the stigma, because it's devastating. Most people consider a diagnosis of dementia or Alzheimer's for old people that are drooling in the corner, and it's absolutely not true. There is early stages and early onset dementia for good anywhere from, well, with frontal temporal dementia, it's like Alzheimer's on steroids, but most dementias can go up to 8 to 10 years. And the stigma and the lack of help and support for people with this diagnosis is devastating, and I wanted to do everything I can to break that stigma so people can get more love and more support and not be ignored upon diagnosis. So for the most part during this process, I've used my situation as a part of bringing as much love and trust to any fearful moment. And I've got to tell you that I've never had so many huge fearful opportunities in my life as I have had in the last couple of years. The symptoms really try to scare me. Last week, I was walking into my kitchen and I heard this really loud, high-pitched noise, and I felt dizzy from the front forward, and I couldn't hear or think. And there are a lot of symptoms like that that really come from nowhere, out of nowhere, when I'm not ready for them. And in the beginning, each time when a new symptom comes along, I do respond and react with fear, of course, I try to correct that as soon as possible, but this is a very scary disease. I went to a high-fat, high-protein diet. I started drinking a lot of coconut and MCT oil, and no carbs, no sugar, no flour, no gluten, all organic food, and almost all homemade food and meals. So in anticipation for the retreat, of course, doing the prep for the last couple of weeks has been really beneficial already. So I have my utmost faith in this process. I am committed to giving as much effort as I can in the next year, even to the extreme that I don't have a whole lot of energy, and I know that this week is going to be from 8 in the morning until 7 at night, and I firmly believe that I will have enough energy to be able to commit to that and give it my all.
So what do we do in Qigong? First of all, when we look at our health and healing, what's different about Qigong is we see the mind, heart, and body as being connected, as opposed to seeing the body isolated and separate from those things. So we address the whole person. Qigong usually consists of simple movements and/or the use of sound, activating the qi energy. Qi simply means life energy. The whole universe is already made up of energy. Our bodies are energy with form, and we are surrounded by formless energy we can't see. For example, we can't necessarily see electricity, but we know the energy is there because the light turns on. Even so, the eyes can't see the energy, the mind can sense it. Qigong is the practice of training our mind to work with the qi energy to our benefit. It requires a conscious, focused, and persistent effort. It can be used to move blocks in our body that can cause disease, restoring a healthy flow of energy and restoring health.
At age 59, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and shortly thereafter began a course of the dopamine drug Cinemet 25-100 3 times a day. I didn't want to stay on that course because of the long-term effects of the dopamine drugs. So I investigated other alternatives, such as hyperbaric chamber, stem cell implants, IV glutathione, and they didn't seem financially feasible for me. I did more research and found out about Qigong and read that if you want to live to be 100, the best thing to do is Qigong. And if you have a neurological condition, the best thing to do is Qigong. So I did Qigong. And I started out from the first day doing 3 hours a day because I knew Master Ming Tung Gu at the Chi Center said that's what it would take. And I thought, I'm not going to cut corners. I could feel that it was doing something and I wanted to continue. And I felt the symptoms gradually abating. Most of the time, sometimes they seemed a little more intense and sometimes a new symptom seemed to pop up, but I just told myself that the disease was working its way through my body. I was confident that I was healing because there had been so much progress and I believed in the progress I had made, and the other little quirks were just what I thought were healing quirks, and I think that it's important to remember that in the healing process. And as a result, within a span of less than 2 years, I totally healed, was first declared symptom-free and then dismissed from neurology. And now, since then, I've written a book about my healing. I do consulting and coaching. I'm traveling and speaking about my healing because it's too good a message not to share. People can empower themselves with Qigong and they can heal.
Elbow forward, stomach inward, pushing the spine upward, undulating as much as you can upward. Push, expanding, opening. Arm forward 15 degrees, opening to the straight line.
The pain and the anguish and the physical ramifications, the rocking on the boats, the tremors, the vagus nerve paralyzing me. Right down to even one day when Ming Tang said that your baby toe and your eye are connected in the bladder, and I had a massive eye infection on this side of my
Down, relaxing your wrist and palm facing upward, floating upward, in the ocean of liquid light, opening, expanding, connecting body. So, Wisdom Healing Qigong is an ancient practice allow you connecting the mind, heart, body, the entire energy system, and opening the system to connect with the energy of the earth, the energy of the universe, and the energy of life around you. Now, we know from scientific point of view as well, the ancient tradition, we know energy is the base of life, is the foundation of life, yeah. And most complaint we have, including health, is literally about not enough energy, and the energy is not flowing well, the energy is not serving well. So in terms of disease, it's literally a manifestation of stuck energy, blocked energy. When energy is stuck, blocked, we're experiencing contraction, experiencing stress, experiencing lack of communication in the different system of the body. So eventually, cumulatively become disease, yeah, and diagnosis different symptoms as a result of this blocked energy. So with that deep understanding is really the practice is allow you to go deeper into your own body, your own energy system, so you can releasing these blockages, can opening the new energy flow, can reconnect the energy of your entire body. So in different layers, the physical layers, the emotional layer of your heart, and the mental layer, and the spiritual layer of your presence. So all these different layers of energy is part of who we are when we're living in this body, living in this life. So allow you go deeper, connecting with all layers of energy, and you're moving energy, you're making the sound, activating the vibration of energy, and at the same time using the capacity of your mind, the creative power of your mind to direct access the energy and moving the energy, reconnecting the energy, returning to the wholeness. So health is about wholeness. When the heart, body, mind is communicating in whole, in one piece, in one alignment, then you're experiencing well-being in all levels. So if any piece is out of alignment, then eventually you're going to experiencing disease. And the conventional medicine is so good for certain conditions, especially acute condition, and it's challenging for chronic condition, and also a lot of disease diagnosed as incurable. And the difference is in the medicine, we treat the body as a physical body, part separate from emotion, apart from our mind, from the way we live in life. So that is the difference. In Qigong, we're incorporating, all aspects of who we are into this energetic system and contributing to our health. So in the medicine, the mind is not in the equation. So in Qigong, we're asking the question, it's not only can your body getting well, slow, treatment, slow drug, and so on, but deep question is, can your mind, body heal together as one? So not just the body separate by itself. So mind, body working together and incorporating the energy into these pieces. Then you can activate the natural capacity of your body to heal, to recover from whatever condition might be. And that is the main difference. So it's self-healing, self-empowerment, and self-regulation, and self-choice for health, for well-being.
So Sylvia, when you first invited me, I really thought I was going to dip in and dip out. I am so impressed. I don't want to leave. I've had such recovery and so many experiences that have been beyond any of my expectations or dreams. I have walked around in so much pain and discomfort and confusion and felt like I've had a helmet on my head and have been disconnected from everything, and I'm starting to get connections that are coming back that I didn't even know I had lost. The first interview that we had, it was so hard for me to articulate. When you asked me the symptoms, I couldn't even give you a tenth of what's been going on. And every session has had such a powerful undoing that I didn't even know what the difference between hot and cold was. I've been able to drink things hot really fast. I just felt a hot glass for the first time in years. And I've had an excruciating amount of pain in my body with all my tendons locked up and the muscles and the fascia from my face going upward and my jaw moving over to the left. That's all documented. The cracking was so loud that my ears would ring, and the boat that I've been on was rocking so bad. About a week before I came, I called my dad and I said, I'm gonna have to take myself out if this doesn't stop. There's an endless amount of tension and constriction and stiffness and discomfort that I probably would have never complained about. I have a high threshold to pain, and it's lifting off, and I'm feeling like I'm present. And I actually, Sylvia, am more in my body now than I've ever been in my whole life, and it's starting to feel like a safe, comfortable place.
So I'm here today to talk about my dear friend, Kelli McGowan, and I have witnessed her going through the time of diagnosis all the way to the present. And what I'd like to just talk about is the two major leaps that she's had in her own recovery from this diagnosis. In the beginning, she was severely impaired. I remember, and I always tell this story because it's so telltale of how impaired she was, but I was coming over to give her money. The fact that she couldn't even remember that I was coming over, and when she opened the door, she had all of her belongings scattered on the floor, and there she was, got on her hands and knees, and she said she was looking for her phone and she couldn't find it. And I realized that she was really not doing well and her dementia had really progressed. So she very quickly took action, which is Kelli, and she began doing a whole lifestyle change and diet with the ketogenic diet and supplements and also support groups and many things. And the diet was a huge leap for her, and she regained her life, she regained a lot of her memory, and was able to live independently. The second leap, which is the one that she began some time ago up to the present, is with the Qigong. And that one is a very beautiful jump for her because since she's begun doing this, I've noticed that her emotional spectrum has really returned, and her ability for empathy has also returned. And for a while, what was going on is that she would be very impulsive and react and sometimes snap at you if she felt overwhelmed, and or she'd laugh inappropriately or just really not show you that emotional range that she used to have when you confronted her with something or she was confronted with something.
I was at a place 3 years ago where I was just having so much fun socially. I was done being a single mom. My daughter was now a mother, and I had a boyfriend, I was going out dancing, and I was becoming a Pilates instructor before my hairdresser job, and teaching a lot of classes and volunteering a lot and going to a lot of meetings after, and just that full, packed full life. I started having where I couldn't understand normal concepts and conversations, and I couldn't get my hands to work. I couldn't open familiar objects and I couldn't use familiar tools. And my manager had come to my apartment a couple of times to help me with some stuff while I was gone, and I had left the oven on, and I was just really irresponsible. And also at that time, I started suffering from major confusion and just a lack of ability to sequence things and to have any executive functioning. Well, we knew that something was really wrong, but we didn't know that something was going to be that wrong. And that started the beginning of a whole new life. And being as hopelessly optimistic as I am and was, I took this on to try to not take hostages and to look at it as an opportunity to bring awareness to the world. And I felt like honored that this was going to be my journey. And at that time I've always been really fun and really kind, and I could usually turn even a really bad situation around, and I was creating bad situations. And I was hurting people. I would say mean things and say inappropriate things, and I was doing really inappropriate behaviors for myself. And I decided that I would try to be as open about some of that, and I still can't talk about some of that. When I disclose it with people and they say, you look fine to me, or you seem normal to me, or I have that. And I don't want to go into a lot of details and explain how much you don't have this. And I don't want to dramatize or talk about my symptoms because that makes them more real. But what I do know is that that has been, for all the people in my support group, the hardest thing for each and every one of us is that people say, well, you look fine to me. There are disabilities that don't show up on your body, like a broken arm, and not being heard is difficult. Can you just stop and imagine what it would be like? What it would be like to lose your entire personality, to watch yourself disappear, to be alive while you watch yourself disappear? Can you imagine what it's like to be surrounded by people and groups and associations and pretty much the star of the show, wherever you go, to isolation and loneliness and I mean, not even able to pick up a book and read, not able to do any of the stuff that you love, not able to even go out and get together with your grandbaby and your daughter because they wear you out, and it's too hard to just lose everything that you love. I came to this place where I really realized part of my frantic pursuit in life was to be lovable, and what I ended up finding out was that how to love myself and how to just hold my own face and my own heart and just say, you're doing a really good job. And I couldn't have done that if I didn't have people follow through and to bring this message to the world, to the collective. And I know most people are going to roll their eyes at it like I did. I don't think anything could have convinced me except for my experience that this was going to be beneficial in any way. If I could have changes with this disease, anybody could have changes with anything that ails them, physical, mental, and emotional, because it's healed me on all three levels. And that is the best thing in my life. If my life ended today and I had the purpose just to share that, with all the awareness that's going on right now with the football concussion, and that being in the frontal lobe, temporal lobes, as well as my rare disease being frontal temporal, I feel like it has even a bigger purpose than just dementia and Alzheimer's, which is what I was hoping to bring the message to, but it has a huge purpose in all sports injuries. I mean, who hasn't had a sports injury? And all injuries and all disabilities and illnesses and sufferings, mental, emotional, physical. So I hope in my heart of hearts that people can open up their heart and give something that sounds crazy a try. I've had a bunch of friends talk to me and say, you know, you're probably one of the only people we know that would get up in the midst of being as exhausted and tired and devastated as you are and really fully, wholeheartedly practice. And I have to admit, through years and years of working with people, I've known hundreds of diabetics that still eat sugar and create their own demise. People who do not always practice the medicines that are available. But what I have learned is that through the movements and through the practice, I can eliminate symptoms that are unbearable. And right now I'm in such a contrast or a time where if I let too much time go in between each practice, my symptoms return. It ended up now that I practice anywhere from 2.5 to 4 hours a day. Some of it's sound healing, some of it's visual, some of it's movements.
My name is Angelia Cheryl Gibson. I'm an integrative massage therapist, and I've been working with Kelli for a couple of years. I've known her for quite a while, and I watched her go from an enthusiastic, passionate, loving, amazing person, a real go-getter, to going through this decline with the frontal dementia. I saw her exceedingly imbalanced. I saw her having challenges going up and down stairs. I saw her dizzy, out of it, exhausted. And she started doing Qigong, and I started noticing a big shift. It was like she was being reorganized. Her brain was being reorganized. Her cells were being reorganized. I started noticing her more clear, more grounded, just an amazing shift. And so I have to pay attention to that.
So I've been practicing the Qigong now for 11 months approximately, and the side effects are that, well, I've gained hope, and I was not given hope with the diagnosis in the Western medical model. I feel that the Qigong is a wave that's coming right now, and it's a wave of hope, and it's a wave of possibility. And some of the side effects have been, I can communicate better, my heart's more open, I'm less aggressive, and my daughter and my grandbaby and I just spent several days together, and it's been very loving. So there's a lot of healing going on.
I just wanna give to you the perfect gift today. I just wanna give to you the perfect gift today. I just wanna give to you the gift of joy today. I just wanna give to you the gift of peace today. Just wanna give to you. I love this world, yeah, you know it's true. And I love you all, I share this all with you. I just wanna give to you the perfect gift today. I just wanna give to you the gift of life today.